Hello, everybody. It's Eduardo Jackson, creator, founder, and CEO of CinemaDraft, the game, the company, your newest daily obsession, coming at you with a micropod. We used to do these when we used to run games, and guess what? We are running games this week. Yeah. This is going to be a solo pod, just to keep it brief. Sorry for my friends out there who would like to join me. Big shouts to Jay Devlin, one of our fallen comrades in arms, which brings up a very salient point this week in playing the Cinema Draft game, is checking after Theater Lock. We do have Theater Lock at 10 p.m. Oh, sorry, 6 p.m. Pacific every Thursday, at which time your call sheet may change dramatically. Now, we're going to take a look at some call sheets, but just to go over the rules real quick once again, it's 10 actors, no more, no less. You must have one actor from each of the three release types: wide, 2,000 screens and up; limited, between 501 and 1999 screens; and platform, 500 screens or less. You must have at least one actor from each, 10 actors total, no more, no less, under $100,000 salary cap budget. And what had happened was, it looks like we had several of our most loyal players must have had their call sheets change after Theater Lock, because what will happen after Theater Lock is that the theater count will change, and often with some of these smaller films, and your film might go from, say, being a limited release to a platform release, or from a wide release down to a limited release, and that might mess up the whole chemistry of your call sheet. So it's very important, everyone. Just remember, after 6 p.m. on Thursdays, when theater count block occurs, to make sure you check your call sheet to make sure your call sheet is still valid. And it happened to me. I mean, let's be real. It happened to me. As you look at my call sheets, you'll see that I usually try to be in every tournament so I can keep an eye on things. I'm not in the background talent because one of my dummy call sheets, before I had a chance to adjust it, was changed, and apparently I was booted out of the background talent. Someone grabbed my spot. All's fair in love and cinema draft, so I am a bystander for that tournament. So let's take a look at some call sheets from the feature presentation, which is our main flagship game. And you might see some inflated numbers. We were double the prize pool since, thanks for nothing, Heroku hack. We had to shut it down early last Thursday night, so we could avoid giving you all a bad gameplay experience. But we are back at it and strong. Same amount of entries we had as 2 weeks ago, so no drop off. Really appreciate that, everybody. Big shouts to everyone I've met this week over at the Expert Dojo Investor and Startup Festival. It's been awesome. Appreciate your support. Thanks for giving me feedback on my pitch. Made some really good connections that hopefully will translate into some player loyalty. All right, so we'll start at home. We'll start at mine. And talk about what my strategy was. So basically, I'm betting everything on Moonlight. All right, so I did what you had to do. You had to have a headliner stack of Inferno. It's just what it is. It's going to make between 30 and 40 million this weekend, most likely. You get your headliner stack in there for the 40% bonus. That's what each one of these stars means. That's your headliner. So I headliner stacked them, which cost roughly half my budget, and then now I set out to figure out the rest of my call sheet. Now, I got a good feeling about the Indian film, the Ae Dil Hai Mushkil. I wanted to add to my. I really wanted to add to my film. Oh, it isn't listed. The Miss Universe, who's the real headliner of this movie. It's on 302 screens. Miss Universe Ashwarya something something. She's actually 7,900. And I just could make her budget fit, even though her lovely face would have been great gracing my call sheet. But so I got her a co-star, the dude, Ranbir Kapoor. Not a bad looking gentleman, I guess. And on 302 screens for the North American Indian market, I think it might be a sleeper. I think it could be one of those films that comes out of nowhere in the platform release category with, like, one 1.3 to 2 mil. And if it gets 2 mil, you got 20 points off one, actually 28 points off this one guy right here, if you include the headliner bonus. So, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But it's really all about Moonlight. Get your perfunctory, pretty much bargain basement priced limited release of Magnificent Seven. I don't think there's a cheaper limited release actor out there than Manuel Garcia Rulfo, but Moonlight is where it's at. And let's discuss Moonlight for a second as we go into this, because Moonlight is in its second week. It released on 4 screens last week, I believe in the New York and LA area. That's how they tend to roll them out sometimes. And it grossed, look at this. And I mean, well, over the weekend, it grossed 402,000 on 4 screens. That was $100,519 average, which, is pretty phenomenal. I mean, that means there was not a seat in the house. They probably added extra screenings. I mean, it just, blew the doors off it. So expanding to 36 screens, probably in a few more locations around the country, we're probably, I mean, you can't expect that high a concentration per screen, 36 times. But shoot, even if it does, 10,000 a screen, is that right? Yeah, even if it does 10,000 a screen, 36, you're looking at 3.6 million at a platform release. That's 36 points, buddy. That is 36 points. And then when you kick in the headliner bonus, you're probably looking at around 45 points or something like that. So it's a high risk play, but definitely high reward if it performs in line with what it's been doing. So, fingers crossed, Moonlight. We're counting on you. Come on through. The headliner stack, and actually as much of it as I could afford, and then I pretty much punted my last spot with a headliner spot of American Pastoral, which I'm not really expecting to do much because it's out on 50 screens. It's out on 51 screens this week, 50 screens last week, and it really didn't do much for at the box office. I think it had maybe a 3,000 per screen average. So this is so American Pastoral is pretty much going to be your punt if you do a strategy like this. Okay, let's take a look at some other players. Let's take a look at our reigning champion, BTTF. This anonymous gangster, came through and swept it all. Took first in 4 of the 5 tournaments. Probably didn't even play the 5th tournament. That's why I didn't take first. And really curious to see what BTTF is going to do for an encore. And look, oh man. Look at him. Look, he is all about Moonlight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Moonlights, 2 Inferno. How's this call sheet legal? Look at this. This is crazy. He's got 6 Moonlights, 2 Infernos, and pretty much did this, and even got himself a headliner in Magnificent Seven. He's basically doing the same strategy I'm doing, and if his strategy works, he might actually probably will win because he's got the headliner bonus in the Magnificent Seven. I don't know how he did that, and I don't know how I couldn't do that. But man, look at this. Is incredible. This is an incredible call sheet. BTTF. If you view or listen to this podcast, hats off to you. This is an incredible call sheet. Not just because we're using the same strategy, or maybe because of it. I'm not sure, but wow, look. 6 Moonlights. I'm sorry. Let me just check mine real quick because I don't even think I have 6. I think I have 5. If I have 5 and this movie pops off like I think it's gonna do, then I am screwed. Totally screwed. Wow, 6. He had 6 Moonlights and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How? Oh, here's where it is. So our differentiator right here is Ideal High Mushkil. He used that space to pack in 1 more Moonlight, whereas I used it to bet on the Indian film, and in doing so, I cost myself the budget that would have been necessary to get a headliner in the Magnificent Seven. And we both punted with American Pastoral. Wow, that is an amazing call sheet, BTTF. I am really in awe of your call sheet right now. I'm actually kind of rooting for you. It's just such a high variance play right here, counting on Moonlight to do anything similar to what it did, that I'm rooting for you, man. I mean, not only can I not win any money because I own the game or I play the game, whatever, but I'm really curious to see how well this strategy does against mine. I'll see you at the top, BTTF. Hats off to you. Hats off to you. Okay, let's take a look at another call sheet while my mind is slowly being put together. It's been blown. Okay, Cornell Westside, our boy, friend of the podcast, Kevin Garnett, working black writer, TM in Hollywood. Okay, so all right, so this is improvement on his previous call. She's got Inferno. He sees a potential in Moonlight. Ouija is not bad. It came out with 15 million last week. Not a bad start. Sully is fairly dependable for your limited release. Handmaiden still up in the air and only on 5 screens, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on Handmaiden and see what's what right there. More Moonlight, Medea, which clocked it at the box office last week. Magnificent Seven, Girl on the Train, I'm Not Ashamed. This isn't bad. This is not bad. It's a little scattershot as far as like there's not like a one concentrated Stars and Scrubs or a highly leveraged one where you're going pretty much all in on a movie like BTTF and I did on Moonlight. But this is a very interesting call sheet, and it's diverse too. It's got what 4 wides, 1, 2, 3, 4 platforms, 2 limiteds. I mean, it's kind of balanced. I'm always curious how these balance strategies work, because I believe in the second week we had a winner. I think it was Fredo, who took a balanced attack. He had like a headliner stack here, a headliner stack there, and just kind of spread it out over the 3 different release types. So that could win as well. It's a very interesting strategy. I'm rooting for you too, KG. Let's look at a couple more. Let's see how Mom did. Hi, Mom. Claudette Jackson. Draft Mom. All right, Draft Mom. All right, there you go. Solid Inferno stack. And then here's where she may go wrong, American Pastoral, unless it totally, breaks out with its one added screen this week and does something that we haven't seen from it yet. I'm not really counting on this for big bucks. So this might be your pain point here, Mom, but I'm still rooting for you as always. Deepwater Horizon, yeah, it's kind of on its last legs. Deepwater Horizon is too wide for its own good. Let's see how many screens it's on. I mean, it's on. See, it's barely a wide release. 2,000 screens in its 4th or 5th week. I mean, most people who are going to see it have seen it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it'll get you more than 2 or 3 points, 2 or 3 million at the box office. So, might have been a wasted pick there, Mom. But hang in there. You have been shown to improve. Got your Sully, which I actually really like as limited release, only because it barely got there. I think it's what. Oh no, actually it dropped dramatically, 855. Okay, but it still brings in about 1 million, 2 million a week. So you're looking at 4 or 5 points there, and then more Deepwater Horizon, which, yeah, just a point of strategy, dear listeners and viewers. As a point of strategy, when a movie has been wide for about 4 or 5 weeks, clearly the steam has come off it, unless it's Titanic. It goes on like its heart forever, leading the box office. And usually you want to kind of avoid those because as I say, they're too wide for their own good, meaning they're on too many screens, for the type of return you're expecting. Like if, say, it was Medea and it just come out, not enough people had seen it. So if it's on 2,000, 3,000 screens, that's okay. That's okay because it's new. People are going to see it for the first time, and it's going to have fresh business. But a movie like Deepwater Horizon is too wide for its own good, or too out there for its own good. 2,054 screens or what have you. Yeah, that's problematic. It's not going to give you the returns you want because it's probably only going to do 2 or 3 million at the box office. And then, case in point, we'll go to Box Office Mojo here, show you the daily chart. You can even click on it, and you can see, it started off big, 8 million, 4, and then just kind of petered out down to where we are now. I mean, during the week now, last weekend, it only made 1 million, 1.5, and 700,000. So what's that, about 3 million over the weekend? I mean, expect about maybe half that, and it's declining too by week over week, 42%, 46.5%. So if it has another 40% drop, you're only looking at about 2 million this weekend. So you want to avoid those aging wide release dinosaurs. All right, let's look at one more call sheet before I have to run out of here. Head back down to the Expert Dojo Startup Festival. Big shouts. Let's take a look at our nemesis, Jaybird. 4-time champion of Box Office Fantasy, which is the working title when I was doing this all on spreadsheets among friends and family. He is to be respected and feared at all times. All right, so Jaybird, Jaybird's going in on I'm Not Ashamed, the faith-based film, which just ducked into platform release this week, which actually probably is really good for it because at 505 screens last week, had we played, you kind of would have been in limbo. It had barely been a limited release, and you would have gotten less points per dollar there than you would as a platform release. And as a reminder, the scoring system real quick, 1 point per million for wide release, 1 point for 500,000, 1 point for 500,000 in limited release, and then 1 point per 100,000 in platform release. So for example, if I'm Not Ashamed makes $1 million this weekend, it's a platform release, it gets 10 points. And your headliner bonus is 40%. So a headliner, so Jennifer O'Neill in I'm Not Ashamed would get you 14 points if it came in at 1 million in the box office this weekend at the 40% headliner bonus. It's math, y'all. I hate it too. Okay, so he's going in Inferno. He's got Moonlight covered. He's probably punting here at American Pastoral. As you see, he left $0.00 behind his budget. American Pastoral, bargain basement right there. He went heavily with I'm Not Ashamed, which is an interesting strategy. He's banking on it harder than we are with Moonlight. So very interesting to see if he sees us at the top with BTTF and in our highly leveraged strategies. He got himself some boo. He got him a new boo over in Medea. And never underestimate Tyler Perry, y'all. Another rule of the box office. Never underestimate Tyler freaking Perry. Got a little Jack Reacher and got him some Storks to qualify his qual sheet with the limited release. So solid overall call sheet, Jaybird. Very respectable. I still kind of like BTTF's call sheet better, but we'll see how yours do. This game is full of nothing but surprises. Let me tell you, it is constantly surprising me. I'm really appreciative of everyone who's played, all the early adopters, the people in the group chat. We have a group chat now. It's very exciting. I'll see if I can leave the link or something in the description so you guys can join. Basically, we're there talking about Cinema Draft 24/7. It's kind of crazy. And with the double prize pool this weekend, the $600 feature presentation, is offering $180 for the top spot. So yes, let's, fingers crossed, let's sweat the box office together. You'll be getting notifications at 3 p.m. on Saturday, on Sunday, and when the game ends on Monday, once all the scores are tallied. And where can you find Cinema Draft? You can find us everywhere. Facebook, all the way through our iTunes podcast. We need to fix the link for our Instagram. We're actually at a new Instagram address now. We're at Play Cinema Draft. So check us out there. And also subscribe to us at iTunes or wherever you get your lovely podcasts delivered. Once again, I'm Eduardo Jackson, creator, founder, and CEO of Cinema Draft, the game, the company, the obsession. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will talk to you, I guess, on Monday once final call sheets are out. Final scoring is done, sorry.